at 11 o'clock on sharp because I have an hour and a half to do this, and I'm hoping that I can do it in that time or shorter. So that would be great. Listen, up here there are books here on Egypt, my books, and in these books I've had the rubber bands to show you that there's a number of things that I've found, okay, that are directly related to Egypt. And this process that I've been working on, okay, I never imagined that I would have anything to do with Egypt. But come in here, please, and we can just set things up here. I'm just kind of briefly introducing everything. So come on here, please. We haven't started yet. I appreciate all of you coming. The thing is you know, it's being filmed. There's 1, 2, I don't know, 3 cameras. Okay, and because it's tomorrow, it'll be on the internet, thanks to Robert. And also it will go on Facebook, which is thanks to Marianne, who lives in Canada. Okay, she puts it on my Facebook. And Cameron and Faith are working on the NFT website. So it's newformtechnology.org. So if you want to go here, this is just dedicated to this center here. Okay, this is artistic science. If you're interested in anything to do with the heart, okay, you go to this one, and there's lectures on there that I've given to doctors in San Francisco at a conference. So if I don't cover something to do with the heart, you can go directly to there. And then this place, this right here, is building a new mystery center, which is what the center is all about. We're trying to raise money in a practical way to bring the invisible into something practical so that that building can be built, which will be a research center in the future. Whether it will be here in my lifetime, I don't know. But that's the goal. The goal is to build that building. Okay, Faith, so you want to just sort of introduce, and I'll get going.
Yes, welcome everyone. We're on our 3rd NFT Saturday, and we are so happy to see all of you here. We have a full agenda today, and I'm not going to overburden the beginning before Frank's lecture with a lot of announcements. That will wait until afterwards. Would everyone please turn off their cell phones? And also be mindful, because we're recording, that when you move your chairs on this concrete floor, it screeches. So if you need to do, adjustments, please be mindful of that. Last time, we had such a full agenda that we went over, so we're trying to be very mindful this time. We will have the lecture from 11 to 12:30, lunch 12:30 to 1:30, and then project presentation reviews. They're very, very exciting. We hope that everyone can stay for the duration. I think that's about it, Frank. I think we should just begin.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Faith. I used to teach geometry about 10 years ago, sacred geometry, and so I have a few things left over from that time that I want to share with you. So some of you have seen these things, but there will be things to be patient that you haven't seen. Okay, so what I have here are 3 squares. Whoops. And all together I have 6. They're all the same size. Just out of cardboard to make these things. So if I take the first 3, 1, 2, 3, and I slip them together. Now I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to get this all right the first time, but if I slip these together, as you can see already, I have no trouble, but that's okay. I haven't done this for a while, so here it is. I got that part. All right, now this one's a little more difficult because it has to be folded in such a way to get through all its slots. So you'll see what I mean. So 3 squares. Okay, if I put them together right. This is really old. These are like 12 years old. Cardboard pieces. It makes a cube. Okay, so if I draw a square and I cross the corners, that's what you see. Now, I'm going to take the other ones. Here they are. Now the difference here, that made these different sizes. I'm going to I'm going to cross these corners of the square. That's what I did here. Okay, so I take the first one. Now this one's a lot more difficult to figure out. So we'll see what I can do. All right, I did one, but that doesn't mean the other one's going to work. Let's see if I'm going to get this in here right. Never done it this quick. Usually I have to struggle a lot more.
12 years of practice.
It's not in there yet, though. Three squares make all triangles. 3 squares make the octahedron. That makes a cube. Squares, 3 of them. So in Platonic forms, here they are here. The octahedron. That's this one. And the cube. Now what's amazing about these are duals. So I can put this one in here, and it will touch all of the center of the cube. And there is this same shape, the same shape in a cube. And also, this shape will go around the cube. Okay. So, what I wanted to do was to show you a little bit about the sacred geometry known as phi. And phi is the golden mean ratio, and it's based on this distance in relationship to this one. So if this one is 1, this is 618. Okay, so where does that come from? It comes from a star. You take a pentagram, and you can see that the 2 ends of the pentagram hit here. Okay, so let's say we go from here to here. Look at that. Again, this meets. Oh, the pentagram is actually where this originated, because actually, if you think about this, this is a star. And this part here, this is supposed to come down here. It was big enough. That's where this comes from. Okay, so one of the really neat things about the golden ratio, or phi, is that if you start with a box, and you put the center at the very end of the box to the corner of the box, and you swing an arc. And you can do that both ways if you want. Just so I haven't set that right. Okay, then I just connect these. This is 5, this is 1. Or this is 1, and this is 618. This whole distance is 1.618. And this is the golden ratio. This is what the Greeks used it big time. Okay, so if I take this, this will happen to be the same size, because this is the square. That's the middle of the square, and I make an arc. Okay, I make 618. Now what's really neat is that if you make a series of these, then they're all proportioned right, it makes a spiral. And this is the golden mean spiral, which is fantastic. And of course that's where, this is the Nautilus shell. This is what this is all about. Just to find this out, okay, lawfully. Okay, so what I'm trying to do to show you these things is this. If I take this blue ball, and I throw it up like this and catch it, it turns yellow. Now, How did it happen? All right, this is not magic, okay? This is lawful geometry, that this can happen. And the reason is that there are some geometry in here that we don't understand. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to show you things that you can't see. You didn't see that happen, but it's there, and it's a reality. So this is the science of the unseen. This is finding out that inside here, okay, there's a geometry. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Now, what I did was this. I took 4 sticks, and I colored them red so you can see what I'm doing here. So that they're the same size. What I try to do is to keep everything in scale, so it takes away the mystery, but it's still exciting. All right, so I take this right here, and I measure this distance right here. And of course, this is the 618, right? Follow me, this is the shorter one. Okay, I'm going to put the shorter one up here. Let's see how I do that. I'm going to take this one off. And I'm going to put this one here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend these forward like this. There, that's accurate. So, this, the relationship to this. Yeah? Isn't that nice? Okay. So, what I did was I made one of these. I have one here. I have this one. Let's see if this one fits. It does. This has the same ratio. Okay, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, and this is 1. Does that make sense? This is what I call the tetrahedron golden rectangle. All right. Now, why do I call it that? So here's the tetrahedron. Wire only, edges. Edges only. If I take this, maybe a little struggle here. If I take this, I try to get it in here. See, first off, I better show you why I'm struggling. You see, it's the same distance here. Do you see that? Now, what's amazing is that the top is exactly the same as this one. This is magic, you guys, but it's lawful magic. So I'm going to try to get this thing in here. You see, they're the same size. And then, what is this on the side here? What is this angle? That's this angle, the same one. Look at that. So, to find out if my theory was right, here they are. And you can see that they have a doorway, and the doorway lintel is right where it crosses. So if I can turn on my little guy here, let's see if it works. If I cross this from here to here like this, and here to here to here, where it crosses is right there. That's no accident. And this is called a bridge. You can go from inside this one over into inside this one. This is new. And it's new. It's a whole new discovery that the Egyptians and all their studies have not found in 3,500 years. Have not found the solution to this. So what I did was I drew up how this works. So if I take this one here, this is the Grand Pyramid. That's this one. See how I did this? Now what I did was I wanted to find out where this one is. Well, I knew that this was 1. I knew this was what? I knew what this was. This was 2. So all I did was go up. And then the next one up, the next one up, which are all done. You can come up here and measure it if you want. They're all accurate. So what happens is that they take 2 of these, like I started with, And they put 2 of these on top, and 2 of these on top, and 2 of this on top, and that's why you have all of this structure that you just saw. That's because 2 of these are going up all the way in a perfect relationship, and of course that's the basis of this design. In relationship to the front. Now, so I thought, well now wait a minute, that would be really neat if I could find something in the books that showed these lines here. That they were even thinking of something like this, and I found it. There's one that's in this book, and you can come up and look at it, and it actually shows where those lines are. There it is, right there. You see them, they're right here. The line is here, 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 here. On the side, there they are. It's fantastic. Well, we knew what those meant. So, what does this all mean? This means that if a king could not produce a pyramid, then he produces, okay, the pylons. He puts 2 of them there and walks between them into his temple. He walks in here, and then the temple is back here. And this is to indicate the size of the pyramid, if he could build it. But he couldn't. There weren't enough men at that time. You know, after the big one was made, a few more were made, and then all the different guys couldn't do it. So this is new. This guy is new. My other study about the way it climbs and so forth is. Okay, so I'll put this aside. Put him over here. And now I'll take my next discovery that I found, okay, and this was on the internet. Well, there are 2 pyramids that are being used as meditation chambers. One is the Grand Pyramid, and the other one is called a Phi Pyramid, a golden ratio pyramid. These are being built in Russia. They weigh about 44 tons. They're a half a football field high, 144 feet. They cost $1 million to build, and they're all fiberglass. So here's the Golden Mean Pyramid. And you can see the car. There's another one. These are in Russia. This is lighter than any other. This is one of those.
Ultralight.
Yeah, ultralight. Okay. So what I did was I built one. This is a Golden Mean pyramid. Now, if you notice, I keep everything to scale. So if I have this at the same scale, which it is, it's the same size. I try to keep them all the same size. Okay, so I'm going to put, you can see it. Take the pylons here, and maybe so they go together. I'll put the kufu there, and I'll put the golden triangle, or pyramid, and I'll put the Chesterfield. They're all the same size. They have the same base, all 3. I did that so you could see the comparison between how high they would be if they were all built like the major one, which they're not. These would be way too big, except this one is 144 feet, but it doesn't have the base of the Great Pyramid. Okay, so what I did was I went back to this. One back to the, I call it the golden Chesterhedron triangle. It's the same one that I used in the beginning. The same one. These fit to the Chesterhedron. All right, so They're also selling these as meditation chambers. Let's see, I think I got one here. Well, let me show you what the inside of these things look like out of the fiberglass. Okay, see, now, the Egyptians couldn't build them because they were too steep. But the Egyptians had the golden ratio pyramid in their minds, because these were, here's a golden ratio exactly perfect. It's 3,500 years old. Well, this isn't a new pyramid. They were around, but they couldn't build them. They were too steep. So what they did is they put them on top of obelisks. And there's some tall, slender pieces of stone, and they put the top. It's called a capstone. Okay. So I thought, okay, I got to figure this out. What's going on here? So what I did was this. I took these two here, these guys, and instead of doing this, like here, I did this. So I made it square. Across here and here. See where I cut out? So if I put these two together, like this, same idea, right? So then I took the base. See if I have a base here. This is it. Got to make sure that I keep the bases the same. And then on the top, here's the top I cut on paper. King's Chamber, yeah. But not the King's Chamber, but it's the 5. So this is 1 and this is 618. Okay, so I made this, all right, until it was right, and made another one. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting there. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that's the right one. So this is the more examples of this. Okay, this is the King's Chamber. Okay, and this is, oh no, this is the golden mean rectangle, right? And this one is for the, well, this is for the Great Pyramid. If I put these together, just like I said, and then put the base on here, you see that it's a little higher than a tetrahedron. There. So if I take this and glue it all together, it looks like this. The tetrahedron rectangle makes the golden mean pyramid. So we have a relationship, okay, of 5 to 1. Well, this is 1 to 5, okay, and this one is 1 to 5. There is a golden ring relationship running through all of these. Known as is the first new pyramid since this time. And this right here goes right in there. Straight. Now that's amazing that I can take this one, these guys, and make either pyramid. So this is a major discovery. This is just so amazing to me. I cannot believe how amazing this is. Thank you. I just couldn't sleep for a couple days after I discovered it. So what I did is I put it all together. And I put it in the tetrahedron, and here it is. In the tetrahedron, okay, there are 2 pyramids. There are 3 sides. Okay, and in the very middle, there's a 6-pointed star. Right? That's great, isn't it? Yeah. Unbelievable, look at that. How can that be? So, I mean, it's tremendous. Look at this. This is just unreal. These are based on 4. They go 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. This goes from 3 to 3 to 6. So what I do is I just put rubber bands on here, and I just go down here like this. Now what's happening is that this one is spinning this way, and this is spinning opposite. So one's clockwise, one's counterclockwise. So here comes this one from the bottom. It's coming up. Because I have to show you that this 6 is lawful. This isn't just a made up. So if I keep going up with this, and I keep going down with this one, this is contracting, this one's expanding. Now somewhere here, I'm going to get that baby right on. And I just have to keep playing around with it. Right, Patricia?
Right.
See how close I'm getting? Just by guessing. I'm getting real close. Isn't that amazing? You've got a cone that's coming up, a triangle that's coming up from the bottom, and one that's coming down from the top. And this is what's amazing. When I get this just right, look at this. Just only when I get 6 correct does this happen. Only when it's perfectly 6. There it is. This is profound. This rocks. This is beautiful. This thing is gorgeous. It can do that. It makes a 6 now. I call this the heart. Well, here it shows you. They're even making these inside the house. Okay, and then there's the traditional meditation chamber, which is based on the Khufu. And here's this guy's very excited and he's making these and selling them. Okay, all different sizes. Some of them for plants and some of them for meditation, whatever. See what I mean? They still don't have anything new. They're still copying 3,500 years ago. They're still copying the same thing. Of course, and here is the meditation chamber. They're sitting on a chair, and you sit on a chair on this one. And all of these pyramids, whenever you see people in these pyramids, they're sitting in the half lotus or the full lotus. And the reason they do that is because they're working on the root chakra. And the root chakra, here's a picture of the root chakra. It's a square. That's why you sit on the lotus in here. Because it gets the root chakra right down on the ground, right at the bottom of the pyramid, which is here. See, he's got his up, but he doesn't. See, there's the full lotus. But I put this one in the chair because I feel that's really interesting. The guy will still sit in the full lotus, okay, but he's not on the ground. Okay, so here's another one. See how it's based on the square. Now, when you come, okay, now I'm going to show you a big one. See the woman climbing up there? Look how here she is.
Yeah.
She's climbing up the Chettahedron. These can be made 10 stories high all the way down to little guys like this. Okay, but in the very center of this form, in the very center of it, right in the center, is the heart chakra. This is the heart chakra. It's been around for ages, 4,000 years or whatever. How they know, okay, about that 6 in relationship to the heart. Because this is exactly the still point, the center point of the human heart. Because the human heart is like this in the body. And that's exactly the still point that everybody's trying to center. Everyone is trying to center. Where is the center? I know exactly where the center is in that form. So if you sit in it at the heart level, okay, then that's your, in a lawful position, in a lawful form that has parts that you can't see. Now to find out if I was really correct, I put the 6 right where this is. And all the way around the Chettahedron, the circle, I also have the 6. The Star of David. the integration of two triangles, which is the balance. What we're trying to find is the balance between the different polarities, heaven and earth, white and black, whatever you want to use. But this is what's going on, is that this one right here is the seed of life. And the seed of life is a geometry that's two-dimensional, that's very, very powerful. And the seed of life, the tetrahedron, fits right in the middle in another 6. So to try to find out, I found 4 ways to get the center of this form. 4 ways. And I found out that basically I like this one the best, which was this one. But what was bothering me here was this, is that the distance from here to here and here to here is different. It's not in the middle. And yet I'm telling you, there's a center. And so this is also the golden mean. The distance from here to the top. That's unbelievable. All right. So how do you find the center? You put it in a sphere. The same size as the sphere. Hits the top and the bottom of the tetrahedron perfectly. And the center of the sphere is the center point of the form, where the heart is. It's right in the middle of a sphere. And that circle that goes around it, which is amazing, is the size of the sphere. That's just crazy stuff. How can this possibly be? But it is. That's lawful. And they fit together. And now the center is right in the middle where I said it was. This is the center of the form. So when you sit in that chamber and you want to buy one and be in a meditation situation, if you are, then you know where to sit, because the tetrahedron will have marks on it to tell you you can run a string around it, or you can run a string into a 6-pointed star and sit in the middle. So, here's what the tetrahedron meditation chambers will be made of. Oh, I have it over here. Most of the meditation chambers, I would say 99%, are copper. This one is not copper, this is zinc. And zinc has much more of a relationship with the etheric than any other metal. And what I really like about zinc is its crystallizaceous form, 7-sided. Anyway, this is going to be hollow. It's hollow. And this side can be removed. See this? Inside here, I put in organic and inorganic alterations of layers, like Wilhelm-Reich's accumulator. So you don't need a whole side to have an effect on this. All you need is this, and there'll be 7 of these. Okay. You know what's really neat about here? There are 12 petals. 12 edges.
Nice.
How could I make this up? So these will be put in and sold as kits. All you do is you get 7 of these, and you get 7 clips, and you put them together, and it's done. You can take it apart, whatever you want to do. You can put plants in it where you're not using it, or you can sit in it and meditate. Okay. And this is one of the ways that I'm trying to bring something into the world, practically, that's based on something you can't see. Okay. And this is the new science. It's going to be the new science. It's called spiritual science. Not that you have a spirit, some ghost or Casper, but that there is forms, okay, that you can't see that are within forms, which you just saw. And that's known as scientifically studying the unseen. My time's up.
Yay, universe!
No way.
Well, I've got time for questions. I still have time for questions for lunch, so if you have any questions, you try to, yes. And, okay. Faith, you might have to help me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
2 things I'm not clear about numbers. You said 7 of those, but I see 6 verticals here. So how the hell you build this from 7?
Well, I think I said 12, didn't I? There were 12 edges.
Yeah.
There are 7 faces. For 7 faces, there's 12 edges.
Okay, so
There are 6, no, there are 9 that are the same length and 3 that are different. And they're not half of the distance between the big long ones. They're a little different. Patricia?
Frank, did you ask yourself also about the volume above and below the center point? Is the volume equal above and below?
Well, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about these two, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about, yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about where your copper 6-pointed star is, which is your center point,
Yes.
right? Your
Yes.
green disc there.
Yes.
From the green to the top of the chestahedron and the green to the base, is that equal volume?
I don't know.
Well, I was just asking if you had tested it.
No, I haven't.
Okay. And therefore, is the phi tetrahedron and the phi tetrahedron above it, they're equal. So you have a blue tetrahedron, right?
Here.
Yeah. And that the empty space above to the apex of the chestahedron, they're equal.
All right, this is equal,
Yeah.
and this is equal.
Yeah.
But these are not
Okay.
tetrahedrons.
Oh, they're not?
No,
Okay.
they're not tetrahedrons. Neither is this one. They're different.
Okay. They're not equal sides?
No?
Okay.
And that's what's happening here. This is an asymmetrical form. So
Okay.
we have to get used to asymmetrical, okay, in this line.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's what I was wondering.
But
Yeah. They're different. They're different.
They're different.
asymmetrical. That's okay. Good.
I've got 3 questions. Just out of curiosity, what's your favorite number and or numbers? Second question is, what's your favorite word? Third question is, what's your favorite color?
she's gonna have to help me.
Okay, what's your favorite number? Can I answer that?
And yes.
7.
7.
No, Frank, what's your favorite?
What's my favorite number?
Uh,
You're gonna think I'm making this up, but 7 was always my favorite number. Ever since I've been a little kid. I used to win surfboards with the number 7 when I put numbers in.
Yeah.
7 was always my favorite number. Everywhere I went, my address had a 7 in it. And one place I had a phone number that had 7777. I had to ask for it.
all right, Frank, what is your favorite word? What's your favorite word?
Maybe you go.
Oh,
yeah. That's sweet.
Frank's
Well
favorite
said.
word is Yuko, his wife's name.
Beautiful.
And Frank, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Good.
Blue.
Thank
The
you.
third.
Female.
So Frank, where are you going with this? What's your next question?
Well, I'm trying to get the research center to develop practical means of making money based on helping people who, like for instance, meditate, or helping the water. I'm looking for that direction. And actually, if I can get this research center made, I want to keep that question, but I got one thing I wanted to show you. You know how this goes inside here? You know what I mean? Well, you see in the Louvre, the artist knows that there's something there. Okay, they know. They know there's something there, but they don't know. This is based on sentimentality. It's based on the artistic side. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that they don't know the relationship or how these things come about, but they know they're important. Okay. This is what it's all about, is to build this building. This is the goal. And all the money that we can make, eventually we'll go to a piece of property in this building. And I've had a number of people, I could count on one hand or less, that have offered me a site. And one was out in the desert. I'm telling you, it was an unbelievable place, but it was free. I know that's the way Frank Lloyd Wright started. He started out in the desert too, with Taliesin. And then there was one other person that offered a piece of property up in Petaluma, but then they changed their mind. And if I could get a piece of property, that means I'm grounded, and then it's much easier to bring in money to help a building like this. So the first step is that I can't build this building full scale because I don't have the property. Okay. So I'm going to build this building in this research center, huge. And I need all kinds of people to come in here and help me make this, so that I can take it apart, put back together wherever we go. And Dean has a really nice black van out there, and we're going around with these things. I mean, that's how we raise money. So that's basically what I want to do, is to get a center like this, which is a pyramid. This is a pyramid. That is the Chestahedron Pyramid. Of course, this is the center, where it has all the people around the gallery there. It goes around the sides. And then the outside of it is the dual of the Chestahedron. And all of those lines that you see there are nylons, and about that big around. And so this is the largest musical instrument that will be in the world. You'll be able to play this instrument, big bows. You'll be able to play this, okay, on this building. So, and there's lots of features on the inside and so forth. So this is why I put this up. I gave a lecture on this in Santa Cruz on 2012, January 13th, and explained all the stuff that's inside and outside of it. So I don't need to talk about it. But if you're really interested, all you have to do is go to that site, and you get all the information. So
I have two questions.
we have lots of research things we're going to present, at least 5 or 6 of them today. Okay, and some of them, they're all in progress. Nothing has been settled. Yeah, that's all.
So two questions. One, what inspired you to look into Egypt? And two, have you been in touch with any archaeologists or Egyptologists based on your recent discovery?
What inspired you to look into Egypt, and have you been in contact with any archaeologists or Egyptologists?
Well, what inspired me was the way they found how to square the circle. They found that there's a way to find out that the circle, if you run around a circle, and you run around a square, they should be the same distance. So around the square is 44 miles, and around the circle is 44 miles. And they did that with the Egyptian triangle, or the Pythagoras triangle, based on 3, 4, 5. Absolutely brilliant. And if you want me to do it, I will draw it for you on the board. It's brilliant. So they based that on the outside going in. And I decided that I wanted to try to, because I do this thing going back and forth, I wanted to find out how I could go from the inside of the earth and go out and also square the circle. And I found out how to do it. And that's all, it's in the book. Steph shows how it's done, and also and so forth and so on. And so I don't know if I'm going to spend much time looking for it, but it's really beautiful. And it squares the circle. There it is. It squares the circle from the inside out. So that got me interested in Egypt. Okay, but I never thought it would go into this. I just never did. I always liked the pyramids. I've never been there, but I always liked them. And then when I saw this going in here, and that this is one, and this is one, and then no, I didn't tell you this, but it doesn't just go straight across. It twists. Okay, and it twists like this. I also studied to see how it twists. And this is how it twists. This is how it really looks, which I can't do it. I have to show you a model. But you can see that the red and the blue, okay, there are red triangles and blue triangles, and they're twisting inside that makes the 6-pointed star perfect. That's amazing. This isn't based on things going like this. Not that way anymore. It curves. They're curves, and they're expanding and contracting at the same time. And they come together in a perfect balance in the middle, which is the 6-pointed star. Star of David. The Star of David has been used in Solomon and the Jewish people, and almost every religion and every belief system usually has a 6-pointed star. And why is that? Because the triangle is the first form that comes into the world two-dimensionally. And the triangle, two triangles together, balance. And that's what the heart is. The heart is a balancing organ. Okay, and that's why this is so important, because this is a balancing form. Absolutely. And if you don't want to wonder, well, how could that possibly, he could say that that was the heart, and go on that lecture and you'll see, I think there's 2 lectures on there that are over this conference for 2 days. And it shows all of my research and why it is the heart. And I haven't had one doctor come up and tell me, you know, that you're insane. No problem. I had no problem. And I was ready for him. And there was one doctor that came in, bless his heart, he came in and he said, well, there's no suction in the heart. And so I said, well, I've been preparing for 2 years for somebody like you. Poor guy.
Really good.
You ran into the wrong guy that day. This is a really neat book on phi, on the golden mean proportion ratio. Now, trying to finish up with this. Here's the tetrahedron. Okay, so we have phi going here. We have phi over the whole thing. This is 1, and this is the phi angle. If I showed that, I'll show it real quick. Here's 1. And here's how high it is. Okay, so where does that come from? It comes from a 5-point star, like I said. If I cut off one of these, you'll see that this is what this is. See how it works? It's based on a star. Okay, so if I take visible, what the heck is this? How can this be based on the same thing? All I have to do is take it apart, and it turns into exactly the same size star. That's the top of the tetrahedron. Here's the top, and the sides are in red. So, at only one point, when I take this off, there isn't any other point that it becomes 6. Now 6 down here, this is too long and it's too short. This one's too short and it's too long. But when they both come down to the right point, which you know where it is, there's a perfect 6. Okay? And all I have to do is put these 3 together. I don't know how I got this. Now, take the bottom part of the tetrahedron. The bottom tetrahedron is a tetrahedron, which closes up into a tetrahedron. This just shows you what fantastic this form is. There's the tetrahedron. And no one has ever opened up a tectonic form before like this. And I opened it up until where it was 6. This is from here, same as here, all the way around. It can't be 6 here, it can't be 6 here, because this distance is really wide. If you put it up here a little closer, that can't be 6, it's not equal. Only in one particular spot do you have a 6 relationship, and that is right here. And then this goes over. And what happens? Right in the middle of this form, there is the tetrahedron that opens up perfect into the 6, with the 6-pointed star. Perfect. And then here comes this guy along, and he's at the top, and he's got a 6-pointed star. Just perfect. So when I put them together, the 6s meet perfect. Is that cool? No form does this. We have yesterday and we have today. This is today. Yesterday are the Platonic forms. And all our relationships and the in and out, all the 99% on the internet is all about yesterday. This is about today. Yeah, thanks all.
One last question, Frank.
Yes.
For the people who'll be viewing this, the materialists that'll be watching this, the people that have a very, very difficult time hearing sacred with geometry, do you consider phi the signature of the divine architect?
It's considered.
The signature of the divine architect.
Do you consider phi the signature?
I do. Look at this. Here in this book all on pi, the golden mean, it says here, creativity using the golden mean is an ancient form of spiritual practice. Spiritual practice. Okay. Awareness of the golden mean's significance has been instrumental in the acceleration of culture throughout history and is now contributing to the emergence of a spiritual renaissance art movement. Understanding the workings of the golden mean increases your spiritual perception. This is what we're supposed to be doing, is working on our consciousness so that we will be able to see the spirit and that form, because it's based on a lawfulness. So once you work with this, and you work lawfully with forms, okay, then you start to see the invisible. Now I can see things that I've never seen before. I don't need to draw them. I have forms in my head that I can just sit down and make. I don't have to go through all this. This was 14 years of work. And what's so amazing is I go back to this original thing here that I drew on the board with the cardboard guys, and I made these two forms. I did this 14 years ago. 14 years ago I did this. So what? I have to wait 14 years? Am I so slow that I have to wait 14 years before I know how this all works together by pushing this together and making these come together? And the same relationship kind of thing going on. The reason is because I had to study all that time before I understood this. Now Steiner says, Dr. Rudolf Steiner says that a geometrist can discover a form, but that doesn't mean they understand the significance. Whoa, is that true of me? I had no idea 14 years ago I was going to use it today. So you're not slow. It's just that you have to be prepared for something new to come and understand it. So always talk about better questions. You've got to make a question and a better question. No, you don't need to do that. You need to get the better question after you have an answer. Then when you have an answer, you can there develop that to have a better question. Because if you have just a better question, you don't know if it's better or not. It could be just different. Okay? Different. Okay, that's only one. That's earth. You have water, you have air, you have fire. You have to go through all of those things before you're going to get an answer. Then a new question comes up. You take that to sleep and start working on what happens and so forth. And that's the process that I use that all of you could use.
Do you have any insights on health applications for the chestahedron or other geometry?
Have you worked out the health applications for the chestahedron meditation chamber and the geometry?
Well, okay, I'll answer it this way. These are all papers that I got off the internet. I didn't have a chance to read them, Cameron, but there are so many claims about what these meditation chambers are going to do. Okay, that I don't need to say anything. Matter of fact, I say no claim. I say that does no effect. I'm not going to say that thing is going to have, that's going to make your heart slow down, which I think it, anyway. Is it going to make you a better person? All right, you're going to be walk faster? Are you going to have a lower blood pressure? All these things say you're going to. But I'm not going to say that. Because I'm only going to say what I know. I don't know all that stuff. I don't know all those claims, so I don't make them. But I do know that when you see the research tomorrow, this after lunch, you'll see the effects this has on water, on plants, on preparation. Very interesting good things going on here that will answer some of that. Yeah, that's a divine architect, boy, let me tell you. I mean, do you think I'm doing this? I can do this? Think of it. Never in the form, ever in the whole history of mankind, this form has never existed. It's crazy. I mean, look, it's simple. It's got 3 kites and 4 triangles. That's all it is. Oh, by the way, because of Kevin knows a kite maker. And so I'm designing a kite out of the tetrahedron, and I'm hoping that this guy will manufacture them if it works. So there's a picture of me when I was really young flying a kite. Well, now I'm going to fly 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a lot of fun. A lot of things are happening with this. You know, you spin it, it turns into a bell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you guys came.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Yes,
We
thank you
have
for
witnessed
making learning space.
And experienced truth, beauty, and goodness today. And it is for the future, and it is here now. And this lives and can live in all of our hearts. And it's truly amazing, truly amazing. Okay, we are preparing for lunch. We have an agenda for after lunch. Exactly what time is it right now?
12:17.
What time?
12:17.
12:17, okay. Super. Since we're a few minutes ahead of time, so I'm going to mention some of the projects after lunch. And then at that time, I will introduce the people that are doing them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 6 research projects to talk about right after lunch. And we are going to be talking about a tea brewer, CFO water research, heart bells and kites, the meditation chamber, plant research, and surfboards. I hope I have piqued your interest. And I'm sure I have. And then we're going to have announcements afterwards because we have some workshops going on mid-October and also at the very beginning of November. And then, as always, there are some volunteers and angels to thank for helping New Form Technology to be able to be here and for this research to go on. And that really is very, very important. Frank did a radio interview recently, and at the end of the radio interview he said, well, you know, our seed grant money has run out, and we're working on fundraising, and we're developing practical applications in the world so that we can make money for New Form Technology and for the research to be able to happen, and for people to come here and do it here. And, you know, Frank said, well, you know, we'll just keep working on cardboard, you know, if we have to. And I'm sitting here watching Frank today going, you're full of cardboard, Frank. It's all about cardboard.
There's a bunch of them across the street I'm grabbing.
In the dumpster.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. We believe in recycling around here. All right. So have a great lunch. Wonderful conversation. If you come up with any other questions, we'll take them into consideration if we have the time. Yes.
I want to say one thing.
Yes.
All of you guys wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Richard Traverso right there. This is his building.
Yes.
Thanks, Richard.
That's the angel I made reference to. It's Richard. So we'll have a great lunch, good conversation. Perhaps more questions will come up if we work through the presentations. Then, and if there is time for more, then perhaps we can address more then. So, go on. They start at